gender, race, class, and whatnot. So tonight I present to you Rahman, and I will allow her to let her work speak for itself. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to give everyone a chance to, before I start, if anyone wants to look at the piece called Cut, if they haven't seen it already, you can start off. I can give a couple of minutes, maybe about 4 minutes or so if you want to check it out. My literary name, my pen name is R.J. Rahman. That's what you see on the postcard. My name, the R stands for Rachel, and the J is my middle name. So I just wanted to shorten that up a little bit. So I just want to let you guys know that. But anyway, I'm going to go over Cut, just a brief narrative. You guys got a little summary of it, but I wanted to also go more in depth of what the artists were inspired to talk about a little bit further as it relates to the African American culture. And so, anyway, just a short narrative of Cut. Basically, Cut goes into biblical stories as well as some historical stories. The biblical stories touch upon certain aspects of biblical history: Samson, Delilah, John the Baptist, and it's some connotations about Joan of Arc, as well as the Scarlet Letter, that kind of thing. You guys are talking about the situation in France as well. But there's also some connotations that lead to the background of the sound of Cut. The straight edge razor, you hear whispers and stuff like that. Some of that background is also from a sequence from Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin. It's a bidding sequence. I was really shocked to see that, because when I first saw the video, I stood there and just looked at it. And then I got a chance to see the actual description of what inspired the artist, and I was shocked, because that's what I thought. That's what I thought I heard. It was a whisper. Get over here, boy. Get over here. You know, that kind of stuff. You can hear the whisper in the background of the actual slicing of the hair. And I was really shocked, because I knew it was something, but I didn't know quite what it was. It's really interesting to me to just reflect on the negative aspects of hair cutting. So I'm going to talk about Samson and Delilah real quick, that story. Everybody's pretty familiar with that story, the biblical story. Samson got his hair cut, he lost his power. Well, check this out. I know a little bit of Arabic, and Hebrew is very similar to Arabic. But in the Hebrew, it's called Shams. You know, instead of Samson, we call it Samson. You know, we put the S-A-M-P in there, but Shams in Hebrew. And in Arabic, it's Shamson. And so it's interesting because both terms represent the sun. Okay, and then also sun is sun. If you break down the word and put it into the English term, it's called sun, or light, or knowledge. So when Samson got his hair cut, he was cut off from it symbolizes his knowledge. Very interesting. Now it kind of makes it more of a dimension of the story about Samson and Delilah. He brags in the story that I've never had my hair cut. Okay, what does his name represent? Knowledge. He's never had his knowledge about himself. He never had a cutting or a separation about the knowledge of himself. So I just wanted to throw that in there, just about the Samson and Delilah story. And that kind of leads to the African American or the African diaspora experience. When you talk about the transatlantic slave trade or the Holocaust, that is a Holocaust of the African slave trade. We're just now starting to use the term Holocaust, and also the Jewish situation, the Jewish Holocaust with Nazi Jews. All of these instances involve the cutting of one's hair. So we're talking about what other instances that involve the negative aspects of cutting hair: imprisonment, torture, a loss of power, and extermination in some cases, which is death. Again, I want to say that again because this is the negative aspect of cutting hair. Again, that is extermination, imprisonment, these things also follow hair being cut. I also want to just take it on a lighter note. A lot of people have any family or relatives that are in the military. And that's the first thing they do is cut your hair. So why do they cut your hair? Because they're trying to make you a soldier. You're no longer going to be just an identity of a regular human being. You're going to have a regular human being that's going to be used as a soldier to carry out certain orders. So you're going to have your hair cut. Hair is synonymous with the identity of one person. So I wanted to throw that at you. These are some of my research when it comes to the book that I put together, Black Hair in the 21st Century, Poetry that Gets to the Root of the Matter. So I'm going to be touching upon that in relation to cut. But with my research, I found that the African slave trade, the Africans, when they were captured, as soon as they were captured, their hair was cut. And I was like, wow. To help remove any form of identity or connection to their culture, to the tribe or city-state from which they came from. And then it was cut again when they were imprisoned. A lot of people, before they were put on the slave ships, they were held captive and imprisoned for a while before they were put onto the ships, and then cut again. And then when they arrived here, if they were to try to braid their hair or do their hair in accordance to their culture from which they came, that could mean death or torture. Arose from cutting the hair. And, so it's amazing. Something we take for granted, cutting the hair, has a lot of social implications to just getting a haircut because my hair grew, or getting my hair cut because I need my ends trimmed. So it's much more than that. And I had a conversation with the artist, one of the artists of this exhibit, Evenly Yoked, Jacqueline Terry. She came and talked last week, and I had a little bit more of a intimate talk with her about the hair situation when it comes to cut, the 3-minute audio video. And I was asking her what are some of the things that she found, questions that people asked her about the actual piece called Cut. What are some of the things that she found fascinating that people, type of questions they asked her. And so, one of the things were, why, she decided, why are you using a straight edge razor? How come you just didn't use some cutting shears? What's up with that, And she was saying she wanted to do it for the effect, to get people to think and stuff like that, And it definitely makes you think, a straight edge razor. So, anyway, also, the kind of culture that's connected to a straight edge razor. Back in the 1940s and 50s, a lot of gangsters or hoodlums would use that as an instrument to take care of business or take out somebody, so it's part of a cultural thing of that, that fast life kind of thing, so. But she was also saying, the sound and the effect is what she was using it for. Another thing she was saying, some people came to her and asked her questions about the hair cutting itself. It seemed as though the woman was taking a longer time to get her hair cut than the man. So I'm not sure if you guys saw that. Maybe you picked that up. Did it make you seem like the woman was getting her hair cut longer and the man had a shorter amount of time for getting the haircut? Okay, so yeah, I felt that too. And anyway, as part of socialization, she said that both the man and the woman both have equal time when it came to getting a haircut. And I was like, whoa, because the woman was showing a lot of emotion, a lot of torment, a lot of fear and apprehension, while the man, he didn't show much. It was like a routine for him. Again, that's socialization. The man, it's a routine for the man to be socialized because he gets his hair cut every week or bi-weekly. That's part of what a man does. We're socialized to look at it that way. But the woman, hair is synonymous. It's like a symbiotic relationship with beauty. Hair, beauty, hair, in the Western culture. So you're seeing that conflict when the woman gets her hair cut. It's kind of dramatized a little bit too. She's crying, that kind of thing. And, basically, it's because of how we're socialized. I was really, shocked to hear that. And she felt sorrow, vulnerability, maybe even some ways humiliated because her hair was getting cut, and a loss of beauty. And another thing she emphasized on was like power. You're actually voluntarily giving your power up to someone when you decide to get your hair cut. Because I don't know, maybe some guys as well as women have experienced going to the beauty shop or going to the barber, and you say to them, okay, this is how I want my hair cut. I want my hair cut this way. I want it at this kind of angle, and you do your best to explain, how you want your hair cut. But yet you come out of there with a hairstyle that's a little bit different than what you explained. So it's like, sometimes that happens, and you got to, wait a little bit for it to kind of grow back so you can get it kind of like how you wanted it or whatever, or get a new barber or a new beautician. So sometimes that occurs, and that made me think about, myself getting a haircut and stuff back, when I do get my hair cut. Sometimes they cut off a little bit more than what I want, or that kind of thing. You're actually giving up your power, and you're trusting someone to be able to deliver a certain service to you. But that just leads into my lecture, because you have a certain aspect. Women are socialized to be more of emotionally charged when it comes to the hair, and men are they're socialized to look at it as a routine. Basically, there are social implications, and I just wanted to say the implications arise from the history. The implications arise from black hair being politically charged. Every time a woman pretty much does something with her hair in the community, it's a statement. And so that's pressure. We've learned to adapt, and we've learned to kind of get around that pressure. But it is a light social pressure. And I'll get more into that, but I just wanted to just talk about how it's a pressure a little bit. As some of you saw, when you were going back and look at the video, Pam Grier holding a gun, that's from Coffee, a scene from Coffee. And then on the other wall to the right, it's another scene with Diana Ross, and she has a certain type of hairstyle they wore back in the 1970s in mahogany. And there's another piece back there called Invitation to Life, a movie back in the late 1930s, early 1940s, and they have a certain type of hairstyle. I'm going to the social, when it comes to the implications, social implications right there. When a woman gets her hair cut, a black woman gets her hair cut especially, your social network is affected. Everyone within your social network will be affected. And for the most part, pretty much the